And welcome back to the Pigskin Roundup, Calhoun County Spring Jam, Jacksonville, Alabama, on the campus of Jacksonville State University, Burgess Snowfield, and JSU Stadium, our location for the next 3 days of high school football. Carl Brady alongside Mickey Shadricks here, and taking over from Chad and Gerhard for a little while. And Mickey, a lot of football over the course of 3 days.
Yeah, Carl, and looking at those beauty shots, as we like to call it, around the city of Jacksonville and specifically around the JSU campus, it just reminds me of the outstanding weather that we have. And whenever you plan a big event like this, high school football jamboree games outdoors, you hope for good weather. You know, we haven't always had that. Last year, folks remember our grand finale game between Alexandria and White Plains. We had a massive thunderstorm come in right after the first quarter. Only got 1 quarter of that game in, and that was a shame because that looked like it was shaping up to be a good game. Doesn't look like we're going to have that problem this year. The weather is perfect tonight. Matter of fact, it feels like football weather. Speaking with some of the coaches down on the field before the game, who would have thought we would have a chill in the air? But beautiful weather tonight, expected to be nice Friday and Saturday. So we thank the good Lord for that.
Yeah, it's been great to have a cold front come through right behind a weather system yesterday. So it rained all day, literally, yesterday, and got everything cleared out for us weather-wise here. Let's talk about the rest of the night tonight. We saw Pleasant Valley and White Plains play a half of football just a minute ago. We're going to have White Plains and Ohatchee play a half here, and then coming up later on, we're going to have Ohatchee and Pleasant Valley matching up. Talk about the format of the Spring Jam this year.
Yeah, we wanted to take a moment and kind of explain that here early in the Spring Jam this year. You know, the last 2 years, it's been 8 teams participating in the Spring Jam, and we've had 2 full games on Thursday and 2 full games on Friday. This year it's different. 7 teams participating, the 7 county schools. So tomorrow night we will have 4 of those 7 playing 2 full games in Weaver and Welborn and Alexandria and Sachs. Tonight you have White Plains and you have Ohatchee and Pleasant Valley playing almost a round robin of halves. So as you mentioned, we had 1 half just now. We've got a half game coming up, then we'll have another half tonight. So a little bit of a change in the schedule from what we've had the last 2 years.
It is a little bit different, but it gives the teams an opportunity to look at each other a little bit more, because you're going to play a full game by the time the night's over with. You'll have played a full game against 2 different opponents.
Yeah, and the big story tonight is, I know Chad and Gerhard talked a lot about it in the first game, and we'll talk a lot about it in this game in a moment when it gets started. But the big story on the first night of the Spring Jam is the 2 new coaches that we have in Calhoun County, and Larry Strain at White Plains and Scott Martin at Ohatchee. 2 very well-established coaches, different backgrounds, but the main thing they have in common is that they're winners. And another main thing they have in common is a lot of folks kind of looking at it like, hey, how did these 2 guys wind up at Ohatchee and White Plains? The folks at both of those schools are very proud to have coaches of that caliber come in, especially considering that both football programs have struggled as of late, especially Ohatchee last year, just a dismal year, only 1-9. And that school and that football program got too much tradition to struggle like that. So both communities and both schools are hoping that Scott Martin, Ohatchee, Larry Strain, White Plains can get those 2 football programs back to where they want them to be, and that's winning.
Exactly. And Scott Martin coming from Hillcrest in Tuscaloosa, and that's going to be a big 6A school in Tuscaloosa. That he's coming on down to Ohatchee, to the Creek Bank, and as you said, a dismal season last year. Only 3 wins over the last 2 seasons for Ohatchee, and Coach Martin said in an interview, I think back in February is when he took the job there at Ohatchee, that one of the biggest challenges he was going to have at Ohatchee was apathy, because they've had such a struggle finding a way to win ball games. He's going to have to get the excitement back in the players, the fans, the community, and everybody.
Yeah, and I saw, again, both coaches here earlier before we got started, and both are very excited about their new roles. They're just as excited as the communities are about them being there, and that's what's really neat about it. And there you see Coach Strain talking to his troops. They're about to turn around and play again. And Coach Martin and the Ohatchee Indians, they're warming up and getting ready as well.
All right, that's coming up in just a moment. We'll get started from JSU Stadium.
Attention race fans, don't miss Talladega Short Track's Thunder Thursday, May 29th, featuring 120-mile-per-hour USCS Outlaw Sprint Cars presented by K&N Filters, plus NASCAR veteran Ken Schrader racing in the K&N Filters USCS Outlaw Modifieds, the Neesmith Late Models, and Stock Car Racing. Thunder Thursday with USCS Outlaw Sprint Cars, Outlaw Modifieds, Neesmith Late Models, Stock Car Racing, and Ken Schrader. Thursday, May 29th at Talladega Short Track on Speedway Boulevard. Estaboga, be there.
We're making a new Honda at Sunny King Honda more affordable than ever with low lease payments all month long. Lease the new 14 Accord LX for only $199 a month. Lease the all-new 14 Civic LX for only $159 a month. We have a great selection of certified used Hondas, all with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Sunny King Honda, exit 188 off Interstate 20 on Highway 78 East in Oxford, where customer satisfaction is king.
Looking for a place to have dinner with your family or that special someone? Why not try Affina's, a unique Tuscan grill specializing in Italian fare. From Italian meats sliced daily and baked to perfection to healthy choices for little ones. We look forward to seeing you soon for your next lunch or dinner. Or contact us to help you plan your next party or event, because Affina's is all about casual yet sophisticated dining.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Tim Hodges, Don Hudson, J.D. Hess, and Rudy Abbott, asks that you take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Burgess Snowfield at JSU Stadium, Jacksonville State University, getting ready for game number 2 with White Plains and Ohatchee here in the Calhoun County Pigskin Roundup Spring Jam. We've talked about the format, how the teams are all playing a half, and all of the 3 games today are just a half. But by the time you get through playing in this round-robin format, you will have played a full game by the end of the day. And White Plains, after a break, they're going to be basically playing a second half. They were playing against Pleasant Valley earlier, and we have Ohatchee coming in, and this will be a first half for Ohatchee, and Ohatchee will then play against Pleasant Valley in the nightcap later on tonight. Ohatchee is coming into the game, coming off of a 1-9 season last year under former head coach Nathan Wehunt. Their only victory came in a forfeit against Victory Christian. And White Plains coming into this game after a 5-5 season under former coach Heath Harmon. So one of the main storylines we're going to be talking about for this next 2 quarters is the fact we have new coaches on the field for both of these teams, Mickey.
Yeah, there's Larry Strain, who, Carl spent 16 years at Woodland and had led the Bobcats to the playoffs in each of the last 10 seasons, 12 of the last 13 seasons, a streak that included 2 2A title game appearances back in 2004 and 2006, ironically losing both of those games to a very powerful Leroy football program. And as you see there also on your screen, he coached 2 girls basketball state championships. It's well known that his 2 daughters, Leah and Courtney, are very good basketball players at Woodland High School. Coach Strain had the opportunity to coach his own daughters, and now those 2 daughters will be playing here at Jacksonville State, which is one of the things that led him to leave Woodland. It led into the decision process for him. A lot of people say, why would Coach Strain, as successful as he's been, as good as a program as he has established there, why would he leave? Well, he got a raise. That always helps. And he is much closer to his daughters, who will now be playing college basketball at Jacksonville State. So timing was good for Coach Strain to come to White Plains. Timing was good for the Wildcats. Coach Heath Harmon, a great guy, done a great job kind of changing some things up at White Plains when he took over a few years. And now Coach Strain will pick up the baton from there and see what he can do with this football program.
One of the other things we'll be looking at with White Plains, Gerhard and Chad mentioned this as well. White Plains is is going to have a lot of really young kids on the field tonight. We're talking 8th and 9th graders who are going to be in some of their skill positions because they have 3 of their more experienced players who are not able to play today. A couple of injuries, things like that going on. So the guy who would normally be the starting quarterback for White Plains is not going to be on the field, and a couple of other players injured as well. So we're going to be seeing a lot of work out of a young team from White Plains, and both teams are going to be dealing with the fact that they're still getting to know their coaches. The coaches are still getting to know them. Totally new offenses, new defenses, new signals, new calls, all of that kind of stuff. And this being the 10th practice of spring, basically, they really haven't had a lot of time to implement all these changes.
Yeah, this is a very tough challenge for these coaches because a lot of these young men, especially at small schools such as White Plains and Ohatchee, even though White Plains is moving up to 4A next year, getting less small by the year, a lot of these kids play multiple sports, and then you try to get them out right here at the end of the school year and get them together, especially when they've got so many new faces and young guys, and you try to get a system put in place in time to play a game. So these coaches will keep it very simple. Even if they had been at these schools for a while, they would keep it simple, especially now considering they're new and installing their system. So you'll see a lot of running plays. You won't see much fancy stuff. And as always in these spring games, the kicking game is basically not live, and some coaches choose not to even do it, Carl.
Absolutely. You'll see the kickers kick because they need to get the practice in, but you won't see any returns on the kicks and the punts, and you won't see any rushes on field goals and extra points. And there is the kickoff by number 52, Hunter Barkley, and it was taken by Blake Roselle for White Plains. They'll bring it out to the 30-yard line, and that's where we're going to get things started with the White Plains Wildcats.
And there's a good look at Ohatchee coach Scott Martin. We talked about him in the pregame. It's his first season at Ohatchee. Comes over from Hillcrest of Tuscaloosa, where he led that team to back-to-back appearances in the playoffs, beginning his 29th season in coaching. And what a find he was for the Ohatchee football program.
White Plains has a spread-out offense, a handoff, and he's going to be caught right at the line of scrimmage.
Great job, Carl, that time by Coleman McCombs filling the hole and making the stop.
Defensive starters for Ohatchee. You'll see Barkley, number 52, who's also the kicker. And there you see the linebackers, defensive backs in the defensive backfield, brought to you by Classic Home Furnishings. Nice pass and catch for the Wildcats. Drew Hudson at quarterback there. Nice little pass. Offensive lineups. As you see for White Plains, Drew Hudson at quarterback. Blake Roselle will be the running back. Fullbacks, Caleb Turner. And you'll see him a lot on defense as well. The offensive line, Wright, Henniger, Cleveland, Thornburg, and Shaw for White Plains. Hudson under center this time. We'll go with a handoff, caught in the backfield. The handoff went to Blake Roselle, a freshman, and nowhere to go.
Linebacker Sean Barnett, there he is, number 55, came through untouched. And that's not good when you're trying to run the ball when the inside linebacker, nobody gets a hand on him.
Fourth down, and the punting squad is in for White Plains. Again, they'll punt the ball, no rush and no return. Blade Crump catches the ball down at the 33-yard line. We'll turn things over to Ohatchee, and the Indians will have their first opportunity on offense. The Ohatchee band made the trip out today to join us here on the Pigskin Roundup Spring Jam. Our game is brought to you by Calhoun County Commission. RMC and the Sunny King Toyota, just a few of the many sponsors that make this happen. Right up the middle for Ohatchee. They'll get out to midfield, and that'll be Austin Tucker, sophomore running back, who makes the play for a first down for the Indians. Goes to Tucker again, and he'll just run right through the White Plains defense out to the just inside the 40-yard line near the 39. That's another first down.
Austin Champion coming up to make the stop, but great job by Austin Tucker. Hard physical run that time. Carried Champion for about 7 yards after the initial contact.
Taylor Eubanks, sophomore quarterback, this time fakes two hands off, goes downfield, overthrows his intended receiver, Michael Gray, who was wide open. He got behind the defensive backs, but the pass was overthrown.
Yeah, Carl, he was open. It was a post pattern. Michael Gray got between the corner and the safety. The safety had come up in run support after some very successful running plays for Ohatchee here early, and he got past Landon Price, but the pass just a little bit too deep. Here you see it again. Look at him coming right down the middle of the field, 5 yards behind Price. The pass just 5 yards past him.
Second down and 10 for the Indians. This time the handoff. Again, right up the middle, just splitting the defense, and the play for Austin Tucker all the way down to the 25-yard line for another first down.
Well, Carl, I don't know about you, but I think we've already seen enough to know that Austin Tucker is a young man that'll make a big impact for Ohatchee next fall. Number 18 in the tailback out of this offense. He has racked up some yardage here on this first possession for the Indians.
Eubanks in the shotgun formation, man in motion. Again, the handoff to Tucker. He gets around the right side and gets some good blocks, and he's in for a touchdown for Ohatchee.
Carl, you said it. Good blocks. First of all, it was a great run by Austin Tucker, who made a great move at the line of scrimmage to get past the last guy, the last Wildcat with containment. But then what a block downfield near the goal line by Dylan Yates of Ohatchee that basically cleared the way for Tucker to get into the end zone. Watch this move here. Jukes that defender, and then see if we can see the block right to the left of your screen, right there. A pancake block, as they like to call it when they grade film. Outstanding execution by this Ohatchee offense here on their first possession, Carl.
And that block leading the way was number 7, Dylan Yates. And we've got a flag on the extra point. Have an illegal procedure call against the kicking team.
And it must be pretty obvious because these officials are going to be very lenient on kicking game issues here in this type of format. So for them to throw the flag in that situation, it must have been pretty glaring.
Yeah, we've not seen a lot of flags so far tonight. We have seen a couple come out, but they're going to back it up 5 yards, and we'll try again on the point after. Again, that's Hunter Barkley, a senior, who'll be attempting the point after. And again, in this format, this spring game format, there will be no rush, so he can take his time. And he hits it good. So with 9 minutes remaining on the clock, it's 7-0. Ohatchee taking the lead. So let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more action at JSU Stadium.
Power comes from people. People who provide more than just electricity. People who are committed to strengthening our communities. People who help foster economic growth to create jobs. People who are devoted to making a difference in our state and in the lives of those who live here. Alabama Power. Power to Alabama.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Tim Hodges, Don Hudson, J.D. Hess, and Rudy Abbott, asks that you take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
After the first score of this game by Ohatchee, we'll take a look at the kickoff. Hunter Barkley kicking off for the Indians. There you see Caleb Morrow for White Plains, the kickoff returner. And we will not have a return. We'll bring the ball out to the 30-yard line. That's where we're going to start things off for White Plains. The Wildcats will get another opportunity to see if they can move the ball. In the first part of the day today against Pleasant Valley, White Plains just really struggled to move the ball at all. I don't know that they made it past the 50-yard line the whole first time.
Yeah, not a great way to start things for White Plains offensively. As you said, Carl, that game basically was played on the Pleasant Valley side of the field pretty much for 2 quarters.
Hudson under center this time. Rolls to his right, looking for someone to throw to. Dumps it off to number 42, Caleb Turner. And Turner makes it out to the 40-yard line. It looks like it will probably be enough for a first down.
Nice job by the young quarterback, Drew Hudson. And here you see rolling out. Good play fake there. Dumps it off into the flat, as Carl said, to number 42, Caleb Turner. Drew, of course, the son of White Plains assistant football coach Chad Hudson, and also the White Plains baseball coach.
Hudson again under center. I formation behind him. And the toss there to number 32, Macy Carr, who is also an 8th grader. And he'll have nowhere to go, called behind the line of scrimmage.
Great play by number 2, Michael Gray, coming up from his corner spot. That's how you like your corners to defend the run. Corners have to play pass, and they also have to play run, and they have to be physical. And Michael Gray, I don't know how well he covers, but he proved on that play that he can come up and run support and be physical.
Shotgun formation this time for Hudson. Turner with him in the backfield. Dropping straight back, looking to pass, goes over the middle, and it is incomplete. Blake Rosell, the intended receiver, had to go up for it a little bit, but it went right through his hands.
And I don't know, we may have heard footsteps by that young man, Blade Crump, who came over. The receiver was open, but Crump came over from his safety spot and got there just in time to affect the play. And he also did a good job of holding up and not, you know, as they say, and now in the NFL, hitting a defenseless receiver.
3rd down for the Wildcats. Hudson rolling to the right side, dumps it off to number 42, Turner. And Turner will gain a couple of yards. They'll get out to the 42-yard line. About a 7-yard gain on the play.
And a nice stop there by number 21, Brendan Wink. If he doesn't make that tackle, White Plains may have gotten enough yardage for the first down. Wink was the only defender on the boundary with a chance to stop the receiver from picking up the additional 8 yards that were needed for a first down. Instead, White Plains will line up in punt formation.
4th down, they'll punt it away. Caleb Turner will be the punter for the Wildcats. And it'll be taken by Ohatchee at the 30-yard line. And that's where we'll get things started for the Indians.
And, you know, Carl, we talk about the special teams not being live in these jamboree types of games. And one main reason for that is a lot of injuries can occur on special teams, and when you have young men who haven't had that many practices, may not be in that great of football shape, it does lessen the possibility of guys getting injured right at the end of the school year. But it also enables these coaches in the few practices they have to focus on offense and defense. It eliminates that 1/3 of preparation, which is special teams, and they can focus really on their offense and defense, which enables them to come out, suit up, and actually play a game with only a few practices under their belt.
Eubanks with the toss to number 7, Dylan Yates. He'll be forced out of bounds near the 45-yard line. And let's have a look at the offensive starters for Ohatchee. Eubanks, quarterback. You got Tucker as a running back. Michael Gray, Yates, and Blade Crump. And across the front offensive line there, Hunter Barkley, Barnett, Gray, Leslie, and Dickey. Hunter Barkley, number 52, also kicking, and additional duties out there was an All-State honorable mention as we take a look at number 44 there, who is not on our roster. He's at the end there. Coleman McCombs is there on the second page of the roster, a senior.
Yeah, good-looking running back, Carl, or we should say fullback. Prototypical fullback there on that play as he took it right between the tackles, got hit, and got yardage after contact, which is what you want from your fullback.
Eubanks looks to throw a quick toss in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. Blade Crump was the intended receiver on that play.
Yeah, Crump was open, and the problem wasn't the throw. The throw was right on the money. It hit Crump right in the hands, and must have just taken his eyes off of it for just a moment. But Carl, I'm impressed with the balance of this Ohatchee offense. They're running, the quarterback's throwing the ball well, and I tell you, it looks like a pretty efficient offensive attack so far here for Coach Scott Martin.
Absolutely. Austin Tucker takes it up the middle and gains a few more yards for the Indians. That'll bring up third down at about the 35-yard line. Eubanks starts to the near side, then turns and throws across his body. Blade Crump takes it in for a touchdown for the Ohatchee Indians. Now, misdirection there, but we do have a player injured on the field for Ohatchee,
which is every coach's worst nightmare in this type of game. I believe that is number 64, Colton Gray. And in this situation, maybe it's just a cramp. That would be better than any type of injury. But while they attend to that young man, let's talk about that play. You talk about a play that you don't see very often in a spring football game. Check out this. They're overloaded. They're to the right side. All the motion goes that way. They come back and hit the wide receiver screen. And good run after the catch by Crump, who makes up for that drop pass a moment ago. That's a nice looking play for the Ohatchee offense. And again, I am just impressed with their execution in the run game and the pass game here early in their first game under their new head football coach.
A lot of excitement on the field there for Ohatchee as well. You wouldn't know that so far it's just a spring game, just to kind of feel things out a little bit. There's a lot of passion going on out there on the field for these kids.
Well, Carl, as you said in our pregame, when you only won one game last year, and that coming against a 1A team, Victory Christian, and you go 1-9, and you have the type of season they had, even though they were in a lot of their games that they lost. They fought hard and they didn't quit under Coach Wehunt. Still, you're looking for anything positive you can get. And speaking of positive, that is a great sign there, seeing that young man, number 64, Colton Gray, able to get up and with some assistance get off the field. Let's look and see if we can pick it up here. Just twisted his ankle there. As you see him, no contact, and just making a turn, and the ankle didn't want to go.
And that's something these kids, they're not used to playing on the artificial turf. And while this artificial turf simulates real turf and real grass and real dirt as much as possible, it is a little bit of a change to these guys when they're out there and they're planting their feet and making changes, making turns on the field. It feels a little bit different than regular dirt does.
Yeah, and it's a great surface. It down on the field, walking around during the first game, it's just a great facility here, and it's just what obviously makes this this spring jamboree so unique, having all these teams coming to play and then televising it live on TV 24 and being able to play it in a venue such as JSU Stadium. And this stadium has always been a great venue for college football over the years, but now it's gone to another level. And here you and I are sitting high atop the new press box
on the sixth floor, way above the field.
And looking to our left is all the suites that are normally filled up on JSU game day. This is just an unbelievable facility. There's a great look at it there.
Great shot there.
And Carl, I know you're here a lot doing PA for Jacksonville State football on Saturdays, and just an unbelievable facility. Great opportunity for these young men to come play here.
Hunter Barkley will do the point after. And it looks good. It's up and good. So Ohatchee takes the lead by a score of 14-0. We'll be back in a moment.
Excitement is in the air for Peggy Miller Locker, and it's all because she's running for Circuit Court Judge in Calhoun and Cleveland counties. Peggy has always made public service a priority, so why not give her your vote on June the 3rd to meet the needs of families and children?
Hi, I'm Peggy Miller Locker. I ask for your vote on June the 3rd. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of children and families in Calhoun and Cleveland counties.
Paid for by the committee to elect Peggy Miller Locker.
About this time last year, our air conditioner just flat died.
It was completely worn out.
So we called Kelly with Cleghorn HVAC. He showed us our options, and we chose all new high-efficiency Ruud heating and cooling systems.
Now they're comfortable and saving money.
And we're sure glad we called.
Call us today and get up to a $1,200 rebate and a 10-year worry-free warranty with a new Ruud system for your home. We're Cleghorn HVAC Services, an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer.
And the Ohatchee Band as we come back to JSU Stadium for our kickoff after the Ohatchee touchdown. And as you know, we're not doing total live kickoffs here, no returns on the kickoffs. So we'll do the kickoff. We'll bring the ball out to the 30-yard line. And, Mickey, we have special shirts for the Pigskin Roundup Spring Jam, and we're throwing them out all over the stadium today.
That's right, Carl. Once again, we're partnering with Dr. Clinton Ray and Dr. Jeffrey Lawler at their sports orthopedic practice in Oxford, and throwing out T-shirts every game. We'll be doing that in all the games over the next 3 days here at JSU Stadium. Thanks to Dr. Ray and his staff.
And that's always one of the big things on Friday nights during the high school football season for Pigskin Roundup. Everybody wants to know when we go out to the games if we've got T-shirts, and they want those touchdown T-shirts. White Plains on their first play from scrimmage for this series. An incomplete pass. Looked like he might have gotten to it. Are they going to call it? We've got a flag on the field, back in the backfield. So the pass was complete, but we'll see what the flag is.
Roughing the passer call against Ohatchee, so that'll be a positive for the Wildcats. Carl, that was a well-designed play too. They rolled quarterback Drew Hudson out to his left, kind of flooded that area with three receivers, and passed a little low, but Rozelle did a good job to scoop it up. But it won't matter because the big personal foul penalty being marked off against Ohatchee, and White Plains actually will penetrate the opposition's side of the 50, I think, for the first time.
For the first time today, I believe. They'll move the ball into the Ohatchee 40-yard line, and it'll be first down for the Wildcats. Again, Drew Hudson at quarterback, an eighth grader filling in for their injured normal starting quarterback, but doing a great job. He doesn't play like an eighth grader. He goes over the top, almost throws an interception there. Looks like number 5, Chase Widgeon, almost had it.
Yeah, you're right, Carl. Widgeon, and I apologize if we're not pronouncing that correctly, but that young man was right there. He read the play perfectly. He was in position from his safety spot. He was right where he needed to be. The only thing he didn't do was come up with the interception, which would have been a big play to stop this White Plains drive.
Hudson from the shotgun, second down at the 40-yard line for the Wildcats. Moving to the right side once again, takes to the air and overthrows his intended receiver, who was number 4, Caleb Morrow.
Kayla Morrow, one of many young players on this White Plains football team. I mean, folks, and when I say young, I'm talking 8th, 9th grade young. And one thing about Coach Strain, it'll be an interesting first year for him, but he's got a lot of young kids coming up through this football program, and that's what a new coach likes. He likes to come in, get the young guys acclimated, get them to buy into his system, and have them around for a few years.
Third down at the 40. Hudson getting some pressure, rolls out, and this time does throw the interception. Chase Widgeon gets it.
Well, Carl, what's the old saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And Widgeon doesn't get fooled this time for the second time. He is there. This was actually a tougher interception than the first one. He had to leave his feet and lay out and make the grab and hold on to it as he went to the ground. Outstanding young job by that young man, Chase Widgeon, bringing that White Plains drive to a stop. Yeah, the White Plains quarterbacks coach there talking to his young quarterback, Drew Hudson, saying, hey, you laid that one in the wrong spot. And, hey, that's just part of it when you're a young player coming up. And there he is talking to his dad, Coach Chad Hudson. But the valuable experience he's getting at this young of an age.
First down for Ohatchee, this time at the 37-yard line. Eubanks on the keeper. Comes to the near side. He'll make it across midfield and go down at about the 41-yard line.
And Carl, I'm continually impressed with the execution and the variety of this Ohatchee offense. We've seen a little bit of everything. That time we saw Eubanks come out on an option play to the right side of the field.
And we have a timeout on the field, so we'll take it with them to come back in just a minute to JSU Stadium.
I see public service as a high calling, and particularly in family court, where the most important issues in a family are determined. I've practiced law in domestic relations court since 1981, and that experience helps me make the best decisions for the parties who come before me. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate the opportunity to serve you. Please vote for me on June the 3rd.
Forsyth Builders are passionate about what they do. A full-service contracting firm, Forsyth handles a variety of jobs, including industrial, commercial, renovations, and new construction. Forsyth has become a leader in construction management and has constructed or made additions on a number of area businesses like Noble Bank and ABS Business Systems, additions to Anniston's Country Club and F&M Bank.
Remember to make Forsyth Building Company your first choice for quality construction.
5.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter of action here. White Plains and Ohatchee in the Spring Jam, the Calhoun County Pigskin Roundup Spring Jam for 2014. Our second game of the night so far. We say game, kind of a round-robin situation for these spring games this year. Each game is only going to be a half, 2 quarters, but the teams are going to be mixing it up, and by the time they get through the night, everybody will have played a full game. White Plains has already played a half against Pleasant Valley earlier tonight. Now we have the Ohatchee Indians taking on White Plains. Taylor Eubanks dropping way back and rolling out. Pass complete to Josh Sexton. Sexton changes direction, breaks some tackles, and there he goes right on into the end zone for a touchdown for Ohatchee.
How about this Ohatchee offensive juggernaut here? As there we see another injured player, our second of this game. This time a White Plains defender is down right around the goal line. And again, this is what we don't want to see in these spring games, as these young men have not had a lot of opportunities, number one, to practice, number two, to even practice with contact. So this is one of the first big contact sessions that these young men will have had all spring, and we hope to stay away from the injury bug. But let's take a look at this play. It's had a little bit of everything. Again, look at Eubanks showing his savviness as a quarterback here, rolling out to his left. One of the toughest throws you can make is throwing against your body. And then look at the tough running there by Josh Sexton. not a big guy, but tough, hard running, breaking the tackle and getting it into the end zone. And to me, what's showing up here early in this game is these Ohatchee young men, they came to play.
They did. This does
really
not
did.
look like a team that only won one game last year and 3 games in the past 2 years. You can already tell what a difference this new coach is making since he got these kids back in February and started working with them.
They're doing the little things right, and just the effort that they're putting forth, even though it's a spring game. And, you know, you're going to see the same thing from this White Plains team. Coach Larry Strain's got too long of a successful track record to not have a successful team no matter where he's coaching.
He was only brought in April, so he's still just getting to know the kids, just getting in place and getting to work with these guys. A lot of work going to take place over the summer and summer workouts for both teams. Point after is good, so that takes Ohatchee 21-0 right now over White Plains. We'll take the break and be back in just a moment.
Hi, this is Vernon Thomas, General Manager, Sonny King, Toyota in Scion. And this May, that's right, we're racing for a record. We're going to break all the new sales records this month, and you're going to be the winner. You can save $5,000 off MSRP on all new Camrys, Tundras, Highlanders, Benzes, Avalon. We got so many deals we don't have time to talk about it. Come experience the King difference at all new Sonny King, Toyota in Scion on a new motor mile in Oxford, Alabama, where the customer is king.
Looking for a place to have dinner with your family or that special someone? Why not try Affina's, a unique Tuscan grill specializing in Italian fare. From Italian meats sliced daily and baked to perfection to healthy choices for little ones. We look forward to seeing you soon for your next lunch or dinner. Or contact us to help you plan your next party or event, because Affina's is all about casual yet sophisticated dining.
Yeah, the very last building. Back to JSU Stadium, Jacksonville State University, the Calhoun County Pigskin Roundup live on TV 24. And our kickoff from Ohatchee to start things off after their 3rd touchdown so far in the evening. And no return. We'll down the ball at the 30-yard line. And White Plains will have another opportunity on offense. While we wait for them to get set up, we'll remind you that this game is being brought to you by the Calhoun County Commission, by RMC Regional Medical Center, and by Sonny King Toyota. Just a few of our many sponsors that help us make this possible to bring these games, to let these kids play at JSU Stadium on live TV. A lot of the kids who are getting to do this weekend, it may be the only opportunity they'll have to play in such a wonderful stadium in front of such a large audience. White Plains under center. Hudson with a handoff. Good job to keep those legs moving, keep pushing, and push all the way out to about the 37-yard line.
Carl, that's an effort play there by the offensive line, by the center and the 2 guards. I have a feeling that some coach on the White Plains sideline had a few things to say to this offensive group before they came back out. It's time for something good to happen for them. They got shut out 21-0 in the first game. They're down 21-0 here just past the midway point of the first quarter. They need to get something going.
Hudson at quarterback. We saw a new number and a new name there, Jamin Jackson with that carry. A little confusion on the handoff. And that leads to a loss of a couple of yards back to the 35-yard line. And Macy Carr, the carrier on that.
Yeah, that play loses 2. Not what they needed after that good gain on first down. But that's a spring training kind of mistake there. You had the running back going one way, the quarterback going another way. That's asking a lot of your offensive linemen to hold their blocks for an extra second. It's hard enough as it is. And when you slow things down like that in the backfield, you're not going to get much of a positive gain at all.
Hudson under center with an I formation. Hands off to the first man through. He's going to make it out to the 39-yard line. And again, that is Jackson. on the carry from the fullback position.
Now will Coach Strain go for it? Down 21-0. It's 4th and 1 from your own 39. It's a spring game. Why not? The offense is staying on the field, so they appear to be going for it.
4th and only about 1 at the 39-yard line for the Wildcats. Hudson again, the handoff to Jackson. Powers his way across the 40-yard line out to the 42. And that will be a first down for the Wildcats.
That's a huge play for this offense. They really needed that. It would have been devastating for them to be stopped and have to give the ball back to Ohatchee with good field position. Jamin Jackson, another one of those young White Plains players, only an 8th grader. When we say the grade right now, obviously they're going to be the next grade next year, right, but they're still very young players on this White Plains roster this year.
A little discussion going on, making sure everybody's on the same page of the playbook. Hand off to the tailback, Macy Carr, and he'll be brought down after a loss of about 3 yards back at the 39-yard line.
Good penetration that time by the Indian defense, and they've lived in the backfield. And Michael Gray, we called his name a couple of times. We've talked about his run support from his corner spot. When you have corners that are not afraid to come up and make contact and bring guys to the ground, that's a big part of defensive football.
2nd down and about 13 for the Wildcats. Again, the I formation. Toss to Carr. He's around the far side, and he'll gain some yards out near midfield. He'll go down about the 49-yard line.
Yeah, Carr's going to give White Plains another chance here to convert on 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and a long 2. Macy Carr, that name may sound familiar to folks around Calhoun County. His brother Chris was the Donahoe quarterback last year, and Macy, the younger brother, also a middle brother named Kenny Carr, who currently goes to Donahoe as well. So a lot of athletic ability in the Carr family here in Calhoun County.
3rd down and 2 for the Wildcats. Confusion again on the handoff. Eubanks tried to hand the ball off, it looks like, but he had to hold on to it, and he got caught behind the line of scrimmage. Got his legs folded up under him in a weird kind of way. And he's lucky to be walking away from that with just a slight limp right now.
That's about the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen that same mix-up between running back and quarterback. And even though that's not unusual to see in a spring game, as a coach, you don't want to see it over and over and over again throughout the game. By the way, Drew Hudson, the quarterback, had his knee caught under him, too. Someone rolled up on his right leg. That was kind of scary to see, but good to see that Drew is okay.
And White Plains is going to take the timeout. We'll take it too. Less than a minute to go in this quarter. We'll be back in a moment.
Ever have to unfriend someone on Facebook? No hard feelings or anything, but it was just time to move on. I want to help you unfriend your old car today and give you something to tweet about. Hey, this is Randy Visser from Talladega Ford with the deal everyone will like. Unfriend your old car today by trading it into us, and we'll give you $5,000 over Kelly Blue Book value for it. Now that's a deal worth sharing. Still making payments on a car you hate? Trade it in even if you owe way too much on it and get in a nicer, newer car with little or even zero money down. Come see us and start taking your selfies in a nicer, newer car today.
When it comes to the financing of your home, experience counts. At Jackson Mortgage Company, put that experience to work for you. There's a reason homeowners across East Alabama have chosen Jackson Mortgage Company since 1994. Jackson Mortgage Company is a full-service mortgage company offering VA, FHA, and conventional financing with competitive rates. Let Jackson Mortgage Company put their experience to work for you. And you remember, if you need a home loan, call my daddy.
Ohatchee and White Plains as part of the Pigskin Roundup, Calhoun County Spring Jam 2014, live at Jacksonville State University, Burgess Snowfield at JSU Stadium, and a wonderful afternoon and evening for some high school football. Mick, you mentioned earlier the cold front came through and it chilled things off, and it feels like a fall day out here instead of a hot spring day.
Early movement that time by the right guard, Carl. I believe that was number 66, Cameron Cleveland, came up out of his stance. He was pulling on the play, and you're always anxious to get out of that stance so you can get on your arc and get to that corner, but Cleveland just a little bit too anxious that time.
Trying to get that half-step advantage on the guy that's looking you in the face there. Took his step just a little bit too quick. That brings us back to 4th down. White Plains still going for it. 4th down and about 9 to go. Hudson gets into some trouble, finds some room, tries to dump it off to Jamin Jackson, but Jackson didn't look like he was really expecting it to happen, and it went right through his hands. So we'll turn the ball over to Ohatchee.
Drew Hudson, the quarterback there, rolling to his left. You'll see right away he's got 2 Ohatchee defenders in his face. Does a great job of getting away from that player, gets away from that defender, and now his receiver needs to help him out. I know it's a little high, but boy, it'd be nice if Jamin Jackson could come up with that catch, because he would have only had to advance the ball a yard to pick up another big first down. But give a lot of credit to Drew Hudson there. Great effort just to get that pass away.
First down for Ohatchee. Taylor Eubanks in the shotgun. Hands it off to Tucker. Tucker on the run again, and he's finally brought down at about the 26, 27-yard line after picking up a first down. And so far, every time they give the ball to Tucker, he just heads right on up the field with it.
Good to see Zach Gissendanner back out on the field. He was a young man injured a moment ago, so he appears to be okay.
Again, Tucker with the handoff. Gets some running room, and he goes right to the corner of the end zone and takes it in for another touchdown for the Ohatchee Indians. Number 18, Austin Tucker.
You know, that is Tucker's second touchdown of the game, and we've talked a lot about Tucker, but Carl, it's time to talk about this Ohatchee offensive line. Look at this. They are winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, and the holes are gaping. And number 18, Austin Tucker, is taking advantage. He is getting to that second level really without even being touched, and then it's just a matter of getting by that White Plains secondary, and he's getting good blocks downfield as well, and he finishes the run here with another touchdown.
And the point after is good for Hunter Barkley, and that takes us to 28-0. Ohatchee with the lead over White Plains as we take another break and be back in just a moment.
Playing the mellophone and French horn Weaver High School Band has shown me what it means to be part of something bigger than yourself.
Wisdom is gained here.
Part of me, I've been here all my life. It's helped me become a better person, a better athlete, and my teammates have helped me do a lot of things in life.
Honor is learned here.
At Weaver High School, I know that my teachers want me to succeed.
Success is found here. At Weaver High School, wisdom, honor, and success remain a tradition. Weaver High School, where education is the foundation for tomorrow.
It has been all Ohatchee Indians so far, as Ohatchee and White Plains matching up in the 2014 Pigskin Roundup Spring Jam here at Jacksonville State University. Ohatchee with the kickoff again. And there you see White Plains number 4, Caleb Morrow, getting ready for the return. But this one is going to be short. There's not going to be a return. And we'll put the ball at the 30-yard line for White Plains to give it another shot on offense.
Yeah, Carl, we said this a moment ago, and we'll say it again. The White Plains offense really needs to get something going. They need something good to happen to them. And they were shut out in the first game against Pleasant Valley, and so far, almost to the end of the first quarter here, they've still got a goose egg on the scoreboard. So would love to see these young men on offense find some points and get something positive to build on in this appearance here at the Spring Jam.
Hudson under center in an I formation. He gives to the fullback. This time it's number 42, Caleb Turner. No gain on the play. They'll keep the ball at the 30-yard line for second down.
No running room at all. And we talked about Ohatchee winning the battle of the line of scrimmage when they're on offense. Well, their defensive line won the battle right there. No lane at all for the running back, Caleb Turner.
And that takes us down to the end of the first quarter. We've got another quarter to play with these two teams. And we'll see more between Ohatchee and White Plains coming up in just a moment in the Spring Jam 2014.
New Camrys, Tundras, Highlanders, Benzes, Avalon. We got so many deals we don't have time to talk about. Come experience the King difference at all new Sunny King Toyota in Scion on a new motor mile in Oxford, Alabama, where the customer is king.
When it comes to great tasting barbecue, nobody does it better than Dad's Barbecue. Dad's Barbecue is slow hickory cooked to perfection, and Dad's menu includes a wide selection of popular items such as our smoked chicken sandwich, ribs, salads, and the best chicken fingers in town. And Dad's does catering, so let Dad's take care of your next party, family reunion, church function, or any type of get-together. Family owned since 1985. Dad's Barbecue, with locations in Anniston and Rainbow City.
Forsyth Builders are passionate about what they do. A full-service contracting firm, Forsyth handles a variety of jobs, including industrial, commercial, renovations, and new construction. Forsyth has become a leader in construction management and has constructed or made additions on a number of area businesses like Noble Bank and ABS Business Systems, additions to Anniston's Country Club and F&M Bank.
Remember to make Forsyth Building Company your first choice for quality construction.
I see public service as a high calling, and particularly in family court, where the most important issues in a family are determined. I've practiced law in domestic relations court since 1981, and that experience helps me make the best decisions for the parties who come before me. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate the opportunity to serve you. Please vote for me on June the 3rd.
Starting a brand new quarter in the Spring Jam, the Calhoun County Pigskin Roundup Spring Jam, live on TV 24 at Jacksonville State University. White Plains on offense. Second down for the Wildcats as you look at Drew Hudson. Second down and about 13 to go for the Wildcats. Hudson taking a lot more time than he has previously. Takes it to the air, passes complete to number 4, Caleb Morrow, out at the 36-yard line. Nice looking play there for the Wildcats.
Boy, that ball hung up there what seemed like forever, Carl. And credit Morrow for our Darthard. Was it Darthard on the catch? I believe it was number 4.
Well, they're both number 4. So.
Okay, well, number 4 was there. We'll call him Darthard, but that ball hung up there so long you could kind of sense Brendan Week was closing in, but good concentration to make that catch, making it 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 4 here.
Hudson having to scramble, looks for room to run, but gets caught behind the line of scrimmage, and he'll be dragged down at the 30-yard line and lose the 6 yards that they just gained on the pass.
Yeah, Drew Hudson here rolling to his left. He had a receiver open in the pattern, but you can see he's just cut off right there by Michael Gray. We keep saying it, but Gray does such a great job of coming up from his defensive back position. He forced Hudson to get off of his track, which forced him to give up the option of throwing the football, and then Gray closed in and made the stop. And there you see Coach Strain coaching a very young player. And I tell you, that's what it's all about. Drew Hudson in a position here at his age. Not a lot of young men would be playing quarterback for a high school team at his age, but getting coached up by one of the best in the business. A lot of these young players for White Plains will get that opportunity next season.
On the 4th down for White Plains, they're going to be called for a delay of game. And they'll move the ball back to the 25-yard line. There'll be punting. And, of course, there will be no rush and no return on the punt with it being a spring game. But Hudson as well doing a fine job for an 8th grader thrown into the situation that he was thrown into with the injury to the normal starting quarterback. So suddenly you have an 8th grader who is having to take the field and run a new offense with a new coach, and he doesn't look like an 8th grader out there playing football. That's something that they can, they may have a little bit of a challenge when they come out for summer practice at the quarterback's position.
Well, he's a coach's son, and most of the time, coaches' sons have their fundamentals down at a young age, and Drew's got a lot of years to play football ahead of him, and this will be a learning experience that he will be able to build on in the future. There we see the Ohatchee band. Love seeing the bands out here this year, Carl. They add so much to the atmosphere here at the Spring Jam at JSU Stadium. And good look at the Ohatchee Indian Band performing here for a good group of Ohatchee fans that have turned out to watch their Indians. And I tell you what, they've got to be pleased with what they've seen so far today.
And we'll take a quick commercial break as we have a timeout called by Ohatchee. We'll be back in a moment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Tim Hodges, Don Hudson, J.D. Hess, and Rudy Abbott, asks that you take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Something this beautiful, you think it must be expensive. But sometimes things aren't what you think they are. In fact, you might be surprised at how reasonable our prices are. We know that value is really important to people in this area, so we work hard to provide personal, caring service that is affordable. K.L. Brown Memory Chapel, where our prices are as attractive as our facility.
Back to action at JSU Stadium for the Pigskin Roundup Calhoun County Spring Jam. 2nd down and 11 for Ohatchee on offense this time. Little trouble with the snap. It's going to be picked up by the running back, number 22, Drake Lassiter, and he'll be brought down at about the 31-yard line. They'll lose about 3 yards on the play.
Carl, that's about the first negative thing I've seen out of this Ohatchee offense. The high snap over the head of quarterback Taylor Eubanks. Good heads-up play there by Lassiter just to minimize the damage. Only about a 5-yard loss on the play.
Shotgun formation for Eubanks. Toss to the tailback. And he will get across midfield. Looks like he picks up enough for the first down. And again, that is Lassiter. Got pushed way out of bounds on the far sideline.
I tell you, we've seen a lot of the playbook tonight. I mean, I don't know how thick Coach Scott Martin's playbook is, but Carl, we've seen a lot, and these young men are executing. Look at the block downfield here by the split end. That's what made that play go from an average gain to a good gain and a play that moved the chains.
First down for the Indians. Eubanks with a handoff. They'll gain out to near the 40-yard line. Looks like Brock Presley on the carry for Ohatchee.
Ohatchee just grinding now, Carl. Going without a huddle. I mean, this is spring training. Few practices under your belt. A new coach, and you're out there going no huddle.
No huddle offense.
Getting plays in from the sideline and executing like nobody's business.
Presley again on the carry. He'll take it into about the 33-yard line. And we're seeing new faces on the field for this series as well. So they're going to that no huddle with some guys who haven't put in a lot of playing time so far in this game. Again, the handoff to Presley. Looks for room on the right side. Gets inside the 30-yard line to be taken down about the 28-yard line.
Carl, that's the third time in a row they've run that play, and the third time in a row that Brock Presley has picked up positive yardage. He got 5 that time, and they may stay with it. Why get away from it?
2nd and 5.
There it is again.
There it is again. The handoff to Presley. A scramble for the ball. Looks like he may have lost the handle on it. No gain on the play either way. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more.
Had to bend it back to the left that time. White Plains did a good job at the point of attack, and it looks like they came up with a football, Carl.
And it was a fumble. There's the fumble. You see the ball come out, and the officials are saying White Plains has the ball. So a turnover for Ohatchee. As they were moving the ball well, White Plains will take over at the 28-yard line. From that angle, good shot there. You can see the ball getting knocked out just as the tackle was being made.
Ohatchee going to the well one time too many on that series, and White Plains defense finally coming up with a big stop and a little icing on the cake, coming up with the turnover.
Hudson takes the snap from the shotgun. Hand off to the tailback. He's got some running room for the first time tonight, and he'll get down to the 47-yard line. Number 6, Blake Rozelle, getting a chance to stretch his legs a little bit for the first time tonight.
Yeah, about a 25, 26-yard run. The first explosive play we've seen from this White Plains offense. Appears as though it's coming back. There's a flag back at the 40 and thrown by the side judge, and there we get the preliminary call, holding against White Plains. Tough break for the Wildcats, but that may be why Rozelle was able to find so much daylight over the right side.
That'll bank the ball all the way up to the 30-yard line.
It'll still be a first down.
Still be a first down. And will still be a little bit of a gain. First down at the 30 for White Plains. Hand off to Rozelle. He'll make it back to the line of scrimmage, and no more to bring up second down.
Just too much penetration that time upfield. Caleb Montgomery, Coleman McCombs, those two young men just played on the other side of the line of scrimmage and forced Rozelle the back to not hit the corner. He had to pause, look back inside. It just slows things down, allows the inside pursuit to get there, which is why you have a no gain on the play.
Second down. Wide receivers spread out on both sides of the ball. Hudson, plenty of time to find a receiver open, and it is intercepted by Ohatchee's number 22, Drake Lassiter. The ball went right through the hands of the receiver and right into the hands of Lassiter.
Drew Hudson, for one of the few times tonight, Carl, has time to throw here. Good protection by his line. And this ball is, it's close, a little high. Rozelle, not a very tall receiver. So the pass technically a little high, right on the money other than that, though. And I tell you, you can tell Drew Hudson can throw the football. For a player at his age, a lot of bright days ahead for this young man. That he's got an arm on him for an 8th grader.
Absolutely. Ohatchee challenging now from the 31-yard line. Hand off to Lassiter. Lassiter will pick up the first down all the way at the 20-yard line for White Plains, the White Plains 20-yard line.
This White Plains defense has got to be gassed. I mean, you know, they haven't had that many practices. They were on the field a lot in their first game against Pleasant Valley, and they've been on the field most of this game, and here they are again with their backs to the wall trying to keep Ohatchee out of the end zone.
Eubank sends a man in motion, then the handoff to number 12, Presley, Brock Presley.
Good play by the White Plains D. I mean, they are stiffening here, Carl. They closed that last drive good. They got the turnover and not giving up here. Good stop there on first down, making it second down and still 10 to go.
Again, the handoff to Presley around the right side. He gets a little running room and goes down at the 5-yard line. He'll pick up a first down for the Indians. It'll be first and goal at the 5.
That's where they kill you. You stop them on first down, make it 2nd and 10, And on a play where a lot of teams have to throw the football, Ohatchee just goes right back to the ground game. Really not much resistance at all on that play by the White Plains defensive front. And now they're knocking on the door, 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 5 for the Indians. Hand off to Presley, and he'll take it in, 4-yard gain to the 1-yard line. Just simple handoff and follow your blocks for Ohatchee at this point. Again to Presley, falls forward. And no indication of a touchdown, so it looks like he's going to be just a few inches shy of the touchdown, bringing up 3rd and goal with just a couple of inches to go for the Indians. Eubanks again goes back to Presley. This time he walks right across the line and in for another Ohatchee Indian touchdown.
Ohatchee just playing little smash mouth football here on this drive, just running it between the tackles, just basically forcing their will against this White Plains defense, wearing them down. And you can see the ball snapped. The play is happening on the White Plains side of the line of scrimmage, and this game's going to be won by Ohatchee, and it's going to be because of the trench warfare. They have really won the battle on the offensive and defensive fronts.
Point after is no good on that try. So with 4:15 remaining in this portion of the Spring Jam, 34-0 is the score. Ohatchee leading White Plains here on TV 24. Remember all of our games, the rest of this game, the additional game tonight between Ohatchee and Pleasant Valley, live here on TV 24. 2 games tomorrow evening, 2 complete games tomorrow evening, live on TV 24. And then Saturday we have a full day of high school football as well. We'll tell you more about those things as we continue on, as you look at Coach Larry Strain there for White Plains.
You know, Carl, this is a lot different from the last time these two teams met, which was a regular season game last year. White Plains beat Ohatchee 23-6. And, boy, you can see this game will be a much more competitive game when they meet again.
You know, White Plains moving up from Class 3A to Class 4A for the upcoming football season, and that's going to put them in a tough region with a lot of really good football teams like Cherokee County, Cleburne County, Crossville, Hokes Bluff, Jacksonville, Sachs, and Sardis. So they're going to have some stiff competition when the fall comes around. But right now, they'll take the ball on the 30-yard line, and White Plains will have another shot at offense here with just about 4 minutes left to play in their part of the game.
Another thing to point out with this White Plains football program, Carl, is, you know, you mentioned some injuries they've got. They've also got some young men that have been playing other sports that are going to be playing football for the first time. And also, you know, they're looking for a little more cooperation, a little more players playing various sports. And, you know, when you're at a small school like White Plains, you know, it helps to have kids that play multiple sports, get all of the athletes out competing. That's what really makes Piedmont so good. You know, they've got a small school, but all the kids play all the sports. And that is something I think you'll see a little more of at White Plains. And Coach Strain, I tell you, just like any new coach, he's going to do some recruiting in those hallways and try to get everybody out for football that he can. So there will be some new players suiting up for the Wildcats next fall that we're not seeing here in this game.
Austin Champion with the carry out to the 31-yard line for White Plains. 2nd down and 9. Like you said, that takes a lot of coordination and cooperation on the part of the other coaches to work practices and schedules around so that your kids can play multiple sports.
And with all sports being year-round basically nowadays, it's tough, and you have to have that cooperation among your coaches.
We're going to have whistles just as the ball is snapped. It looks like it's going to be a timeout taken by White Plains. So White Plains takes the timeout. They were taking a little bit too much time to get that play off. Let's take a look at one of the players that the coaches talked to us about before the game, number 15, Landon Price. You see him as a wide receiver, and also he's been playing defensive back in the backfield a little bit tonight as well. But he is our ERA King player to watch in the upcoming season, according to the White Plains coaches.
A lot of long faces over there on that White Plains sideline. But, Carl, you mentioned Coach Strain just took this job. I believe he was like the second week of April.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so, you know, they really won't get cranked up. Their off season, their summer work, that's when he'll begin to put his fingerprints on this football program. And, you know, they'll get what they can out of this. They'll look at the film. They'll evaluate some of the young kids in a game environment. That's the most they'll get out of this. The scores are relevant. He's looking forward to the future, and they'll be a different team when they kick it off in August.
Hudson rolling to the far side. Passes back over the middle, and it is incomplete. The intended receiver was number 17, Cody Bentley.
And I'll tell you one thing you're going to see them do better is they're going to catch the football. Drew Hudson rolling to his left again, throwing against his body. The young man put the ball a little behind the receiver, but that's a catchable football. A lot of the drops tonight have not been exactly on target, maybe not exactly on the bullseye, but they're close enough. They're catchable footballs. That will be something that you will see that will look dramatically different when Coach Strain's team takes the field this fall.
Trips to the near side for the Wildcats. Hudson again looks to throw. Pass is complete out at the 37-yard line. And that'll be number 4, either Douthert or Caleb Morrow, whichever number 4 that is. I think as a receiver, that's going to be Douthert.
I know both of those young men. If I saw a little closer shot, I could probably tell you, but I couldn't quite. That's Drew Hudson, number 2. Number 4, though.
Some of the guys have their numbers or their names on the back. Some of them don't. 4th down for White Plains, taking their time, down to 5 seconds left on the play clock. So Hudson's going to have to hurry if he's going to get this one off. And he's not going to make it in time. Well, they're going to give it to him.
That is a great no call by the officials. And a great hard run there by Drew Hudson, Carl, to get the first down.
Out to the 42-yard line. So he picks up the first down. They let that play continue on. With Hudson bringing it to the near side, lowers his shoulder. Takes a pretty good hit there. First down at the 42-yard line for Hudson. Straight back, plenty of time, throws it over the middle. Got a receiver open at the 35-yard line. Pass complete to Cody Bentley. And that'll take them down to, they'll mark him down at the 33-yard line of Ohatchee.
Cody Bentley, a good-looking young sophomore. Good target there. Kind of a tight end-looking player coming down the seam there. Wide open. Another great pass. This one was on the bullseye, and this time Cody Bentley held on to that one.
First down at the 33. Over the middle to Bentley one more time, and it's intercepted this time by the Ohatchee Indians. Chase Widgeon. Again, we're not sure we're saying that name right, but his second interception of the night, and that ball was thrown up. It was on target, but there was a defender right there next to Bentley.
Well, that's the situation. Ohatchee knows that White Plains is throwing the ball, so they're dropping guys back in coverage. Those safeties are really playing the deep third of the field. There you see number 5 in the center of your screen. He just kind of hangs back, and number 17 runs the same pattern. He's basically running down that seam, and Widgeon comes right over, does what he's supposed to do, playing that back end of the field, and makes the interception.
And we're going to have a timeout on the field called by Ohatchee. 2:16 remaining in the game. We'll take the break as well and be back in a moment.
Hi, this is Vernon Thomas, General Manager, Sonny King Toyota in Scion. If you're looking for a used car, we got Chevrolet, used Toyota. She's looking at a used Nissan, Ford, Chrysler. We got whatever you want. And how about this? We got the financing. Bankruptcy, it don't matter. Got a little money down or no money down. Give us an opportunity, our secondary finance can get it done. Come see these and all the great deals on these Sonny King Toyota in Scion on a new motor mile in Oxford, Alabama, where the customer is king.
About this time last year, our air conditioner just flat died.
It was completely worn out.
So we called Kelly with Cleghorn HVAC. He showed us our options and we chose all new high-efficiency Ruud heating and cooling systems.
Now they're comfortable and saving money.
And we're sure glad we called.
Call us today and get up to a $1,200 rebate and a 10-year worry-free warranty with a new Ruud system for your home. We're Cleghorn HVAC Services, an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer.
Back to action at JSU Stadium for the Pigskin Roundup Calhoun County Spring Jam as the Ohatchee Indians are on offense one more time. They have the lead 34-0. 2 minutes left in this second quarter. And then we'll turn things over to Ohatchee and Pleasant Valley. For the nightcap game tonight, Chad Gerhard will be back for that game. Have a new quarterback in. Ben Glass, a freshman, is in at quarterback for Ohatchee. Getting a few reps here as well. And hand off to Brock Presley. Play gains out to the 42-yard line for the Indians. We were talking a little bit about Coach Scott Martin for Ohatchee. This guy has a lot of experience. Before moving to the state of Alabama, he had coached for 22 years in the state of Louisiana. And then he moved to Alabama, I think, in 2007 or so. Took over a team at Calera High School, had some success there, coached at Spain Park. He's also coached right down the road at Pell City for a little while before going to Hillcrest of Tuscaloosa, where he has been for the last couple of years there. Was 12-10 in his 2 seasons at Hillcrest before coming to Ohatchee. Presley caught behind the line of scrimmage this time. As soon as the handoff takes place, he'll go down back at the 40-yard line.
I've just been so impressed with Coach Martin and what he's been able to do here in such a short period of time. Just the execution on both sides of the ball. Very few mistakes for a spring game. These guys are playing hard. They're playing with effort. They get on and off the field. They hustle on and off the field. They're getting the hand signals from the sidelines. Very few penalties that I can recall at all.
Exactly.
I mean, this is just a great opening game for Coach Scott Martin. And these Ohatchee fans have got to be ecstatic of what they've seen here in this game.
I can tell you that the Ohatchee fans, after watching this game, there's a little miscue there on the handoff, a fumble on the handoff. But I believe the Tribe fans are going to be, after today, extremely excited for August and football season to get here this year.
Yeah, here we jinx them here, Carl. One of the few mistakes they've made, but this is your backup quarterback. These things are going to happen. But overall, I know Coach will find things when he watches film, but this is to the layman's eye. This has been a very impressive debut for the young men in red and white in the Ohatchee Indians.
And we'll see how they do as they continue on in just a few more minutes. 10 seconds left on the clock. We'll take a little bit of a break and we'll let Ohatchee catch their breath. We'll bring Pleasant Valley out, let them warm up again for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll continue on. And there's another interception thrown, and that'll be the last play of the game. And they'll finally take him down at about the 35-yard line. That interception was Drake Lassiter. And so that's going to bring us to the end of this part of the Calhoun County Spring Jam. As we see the teams going out on the field for the final handshake. And again, a good showing by the Ohatchee Indians. We'll see how much we'll see in the next game what they have got, what they've got left in the gas tank. They've looked good through 2 quarters here. Now this is going to be a 3rd and 4th quarter situation for them when they come back out on the field for their part against White Plains. Player of the game for tonight, you see him right there, number 18 for the Ohatchee Indians. That is Austin Tucker, our ERA King player of the game. Mickey, this kid had a great game today. Every time they gave him the ball, the offensive line gave him plenty of room to run, and he took advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, John, he had a great head start due to the blocking of his offensive line, but this young man did a lot on his own, too, once he got to that 2nd level, and made some great moves, some great cuts, hard, tough running, and scored 2 touchdowns in the game to really get this Ohatchee offense off to a good start. Very deserving of our ERA King Real Estate player of the game here for game 2 of the Calhoun County Pigskin Roundup Spring Jam.
Absolutely. And while the Ohatchee Indians are enjoying this 34-0 half against White Plains, we do want to mention too, White Plains, they do have some, there were some positive points, some things that they can look into when they watch the film and see what's going to happen in their in the upcoming season. And let's go down to the field now. I believe Chase has our player of the game.
Tonight, talk about the team, what you've seen from them this spring.
We've worked really hard, obviously, and I want to thank our blockers and all that for doing a good job, and our receivers for catching, and that's pretty much it. I think we've worked really hard over the spring to prepare for this game, and now we got to beat Pleasant Valley.
Martin, first-year head coach at Ohatchee. Talk about his coaching style.
Oh, I love Coach Martin. I've liked him ever since he's been here, and he's a good coach. He's taught us a lot.
All right, thank you very much. Good game tonight.
Chase Robinson on the sidelines and on the field with us tonight for TV 24. And there you see Austin Tucker with one of his touchdowns. And one of the reasons he is our ERA King Real Estate player of the game. We'll take a break. Be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Ever have to unfriend someone on Facebook? No hard feelings or anything, but it was just time to move on. I want to help you unfriend your old car today and give you something to tweet about. Hey, this is Randy Visser from Talladega Ford with the deal everyone will like. Unfriend your old car today by trading it into us, and we'll give you $5,000 over Kelly Blue Book value for it. Now that's a deal worth sharing. Still making payments on a car you hate? Trade it in even if you owe way too much on it and get in a nicer, newer car with little or even zero money down. Come see us and start taking your selfies in a nicer, newer car today.
This is a nice place. How much do you think this is going to cost us?
I have no idea. Surely they'll show us some options.
I wonder if we should have asked.
At K.L. Brown Memory Chapel, we believe creating a service to match your budget is the best service we can offer.
I thought for sure it was going to cost more.
I'm so glad we can afford what we want.
About this time last year, our air conditioner just flat died.
It was completely worn out.
So we called Kelly with Cleghorn HVAC. He showed us our options, and we chose all new high-efficiency Rood heating and cooling systems.
Now they're comfortable and saving money.
And we're sure glad we called.
Call us today and get up to a $1,200 rebate and a 10-year worry-free warranty with a new Rood system for your home. We're Cleghorn HVAC Services, an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer.
And welcome back into the Calhoun County Spring Jam here on TV 24 with the White Plains head coach Larry Strain. Coach, all the years at Woodland, talk about the difference here as a head coach at White Plains.
Well, it's a little different shade of blue is the first thing that you got to say. The difference from Woodland to White Plains. Really, the community's a lot alike. You know, we're just in a situation right now that we got to start. You know, we got to go to work. We know that. We knew that from day one coming in. Played a lot of young kids. A lot of kids tonight that's on the field. You know, never played high school football before. Never played. You know, started in a varsity game. I think when we looked up here, I think we had 9 on either the offense or defense that never played in a varsity game before. That makes a little bit of difference. But, you know, we're going to be fine. We're going to work hard. We're going to get started this summer in the weight room and get some things going and get this thing turned around.
Talk about what you saw tonight that you're going to build on for next season.
Well, we're awfully young. I don't know if you noticed it there at one point. I think we had 4 8th graders at our skill positions that actually was playing as my one group. There'll be 9th graders next year. And your quarterback has been 9th grader the next year, and your fullback and your H and your Z that was all out there. So there's a lot of upsides to it. And don't get me wrong, it's not just about youth. I've got some seniors that's going to contribute, and some kids in the other grades too. But just right now we're just at a point that we got to change the way that we think, the way that we work, the things that we do.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Chad Barnett and Gerhard Mathangani coming up with the next game here on TV 24.